Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news. Today, Saturday, the 29th of June in the year 2024. Sincere apologies that the news is slightly late. This was due to overrunning in our programming. However, here are the news headlines. Late former President CHILUBA'S son nabbed for burglary. ZESCO announces extended blackouts on June 30th due to maintenance on ZIMBABWEAN interconnector. Civil servants and allied workers union warn civil servants against partisan politics. And in foreign news, Iran to hold runoff election as no candidate secures 50% of votes. In sports news, ERITREAN BINIAM GIRMAY looking forward to a good result at 2024 Tour de France. These and many more stories after this break.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. We as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
With the main news in detail, my name is Tapelo Joe Smata. A group of concerned youths in Lusaka have lamented that ZESCO Limited has continued disregarding challenges it is causing through inconsistent power supply, especially impacting small businesses run by youths. Youth activist Nawa Study states that over the past 3 months, both government and ZESCO have been issuing ineffective statements that do not address the problem. The group of concerned youth plan to stage a peaceful protest on July 10th at ZESCO's headquarters in Lusaka to voice their concerns as the current load shedding has become intolerable. More in this report.
A group of concerned youths in Lusaka would July 10, 2024 hold a protest dubbed Fix ZESCO Protest to address the concerns of the people over the unbearable load shedding conditions the country is facing. Speaking to the press, youth activist Nawa Stali says small businesses have either cut off certain services of their businesses or completely shut down due to load shedding, as the suggested alternative sources of power are expensive given their high cost of living. Mr. Stali says the statements from both the power utility company and government have not solved or addressed the problem, therefore citizens must air out their views and show up in numbers on the 10th of July.
Airing our lack of support. A protest is an opportunity for the masses who are dejected, often left out and unheard, to speak so that they can be heard. We hope and we know that the protest is going to yield result because they don't understand the magnitude of the pain they are causing in citizens. Every single time when you open your timeline on social media, when you sit on a bus, when you sit in the now not functioning barbershops, the only conversations that citizens are talking about are load shedding. That is the only conversation that has been spoken about in the past 2-3 weeks. People are upset, people are angry, and they need to air out these grievances. And the only way that the people who are responsible with providing us electricity will know that we are upset is if we show up in our numbers and tell them that we are upset. Perhaps when they see, they will then decide to act right, because currently they are not acting right.
And Putangalandi, another activist, says ZESCO Limited during the 2019 load shedding did state that it had found alternative methods of power generation for the country, therefore it must have workable solutions to the current crisis.
Through ZESCO has employed competent people that are qualified, that get paid by taxpayers' money. It is their responsibility to provide these solutions. So you can't come to a citizen who is me as a citizen. I've never worked at ZESCO. Citizens have never worked at ZESCO. There are people that work at ZESCO, and their responsibility so that what they are paid for is to provide solutions and not give us excuses. Shedding in 2019, we did not air out our views as citizens in this manner. And it is high time that we hold them to account, because they said there were a lot of things that were doing in long term, and the load shedding of 2019 was going to be the worst load shedding, because the next time the drought comes, I would be prepared. The drought is here and we are not prepared.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
From Lusaka to Eastern Province, where in a heartwarming display of community support, 3 villagers in Nyimba district's Nchifundake area have had their access to clean water restored courtesy of Mr. Aaron Mwanza's timely intervention. The donation of borehole spares has brought new life to the villagers' defunct water sources, symbolizing hope and improved health, education and livelihoods for the residents. This selfless act has earned Mr. Mwanza widespread appreciation and recognition, with the communities expressing their gratitude and confidence in his leadership.
Pamenzi yokwanira itatu choyamba tinapita kwa Jonase kumene tasia mipaipi E5 komanso kuja bantu bayamikira kwambiri chifukwa cha ntchito yabwino imene yachitika yotere. Uchokera kuja tabwera pa paundi pamuzi pamene tasia mipaipi itatu. Kuchokera apo bantu naonso kuja khala okondwa kwambiri, bantu analipo ndithu mokondwera kwambiri kuti ntchito yachitika yabwino tero batamba kumwa manzi yabwino kulingana ni nyengo imene ilipo. Sono kosirizira tili kuno kwa Malipa kumene tabweresa mipaipi ibiri na cylinder head imozi kumene bantu yamikira kulingalira na pempho yasu iti pempha kuli Aaron Mwanza no yamikira mpo ichi chitukuko satipakena wadalisa pali neneka watukula na wana vangu kumwa kuza mavuli pozindikira kuti pamunzi ni manzi. So icho no chiyamikira kwambiri mpo ipempho tilekejereni pamene apo pozindikira kuti mavuto vitili nao na nyinji mpo nupera pamene apo koma nufuna nkherankhera au tithandiza ngati tapezekana mavuto nasi pa nthawe yake munthu ngati walikubulwa uluva lini kuti apa nilikubulwa mpaka ufunika kuti naye unthandize.
Akambapo kale ogula makofini aliyense angalwale nthawe ziyakine kubanja kwa vuta yeve okwanisha kuchosa chinji ndalama mpaka zinthu zachita chinji zaenda. So nepene nkhala pansi neroleshesha kuti koma uyu munthu mwanuonerako neo pachangu neo kuti tasankha tamwikira tu kwamene kwala ku parliament. Uyu munthu sankho ungakhale kuliye chifukwa onani mbali zonse za nyimba yeve okwanisha kuita chinji kuyavya.
Back to Lusaka, where Frederick Mwape Chiluba, son of the late Second Republican President of Zambia, Frederick Chiluba, has been arrested by Lusaka police for allegedly breaking into a house in Ibex Minwood area. Police deputy spokesperson Danny Mwale says the suspect, aged 40, was caught by the homeowners and detained until police arrived on the scene.
Police in Lusaka have arrested Frederick Mwape Chiluba, aged 40, of Ibex Minwood area in Lusaka for the offense of burglary. Police initial investigations revealed that the suspect broke into a house in Ibex Minwood area on June 29, 2024 around 03 hours. The suspect, who gained entry into the house by bending the burglar bars of the window, was apprehended inside the house by the owners of the house. He is believed to have been together with 2 other suspects who managed to escape. Police officers were alerted and rushed to the scene, where the suspect was picked and detained in custody. The suspect was identified as the son to the late Second Republican President of Zambia, Frederick Chiluba. A manhunt for the other suspects has been launched.
The Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia has advised all civil servants across the country to avoid engaging in partisan activities, emphasizing that such actions undermine their professional duties. Union General Secretary Makai asserts that civil servants are hired to implement the policies of the current government, and therefore political affiliation should not influence their work in any department. He says civil servants should remain impartial in their service delivery and focus on assisting the government in fulfilling its responsibilities. More in this report.
Over the years, the public service has been hindered by the politicization of the civil service, especially at senior management level, where professionalism has completely been discarded. Civil servants are meant to provide a more enabling environment for the socio-economic development of a country. It is in this vein the Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia are calling on civil servants to be non-partisan and work efficiently in their various departments.
To be non-partisan, because if civil servants choose to be partisan, they compromise their work. As civil servants, we are appointed. All the letters for all the civil servants in this country are from the appointing authorities, who is the president. On the letters it is written that the Civil Service Commission, acting in the name and on behalf of the president, has directed that you, so be appointed to this position. So it is the president who is appointing you to implement the government policy. Where do these government policies come from? These government policies are extracted from the Party in Power's manifesto.
The Union General Secretary Makai says each government has its own policies that the civil servants should implement, regardless of the party in power. He has also advised civil servants to diligently serve without a bias and leave politics for the citizens that vote in governments.
The duty of the civil servant to question the policies of government. Our duty as civil servants is to implement government policies. So we are advised to be non-partisan so that we can give a service to the citizens without having any bias. When we are seated in these government offices, we should not see red as UPND, we should not see green as PF, we should not see blue as MMD. But what we should see is a Zambian citizen coming to these offices seeking a service from their government. So our job and responsibility as civil servants is to execute and implement government policy. So if we become partisan, it means we are going to compromise our jobs, and as such, we are not going to be for good service to the government. So that's why we are always advised that we should be non-partisan so that we are able to implement government policies without any bias. When the citizens of this country feel that the government has not performed, they will vote them out, and the government which will come next will continue to work with the civil servants. So why should civil servants expose themselves to danger of being unnecessarily dismissed because they have been found in the web of being a political partisan?
According to the United Party for National Development UPND manifesto, it aims at depoliticizing the public service and improve leadership and managerial skills, as well as the mindset of civil servants to ensure an optimum public service delivery system in the country. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
ZESCO Limited has announced that due to maintenance on the Zimbabwean power utilities Isukamin 400 kV interconnector, which serves as Zambia's primary power transportation route from Mozambique, customers should expect extended power outages on Sunday, June 30th. ZESCO Senior Corporate Affairs Manager Karisto Chitamfya explains that the maintenance will severely limit power imports. He further explains that to manage the reduced supply and ensure network stability, emergency power rationing will be implemented, resulting in prolonged outages affecting ZESCO's customers. Mr. Chitamfya also noted that all of Zambia's power generation stations are currently operating below their full capacity.
Our esteemed customers may wish to know that our main source of imported power is Mozambique. But this is via a corridor that passes through Zimbabwe, known as the Isukamini-Mpokoje 400 kV interconnector. This is Zambia's main transportation corridor of power that we import from Mozambique. Now, we've just been notified by our colleagues in Zimbabwe that there will be maintenance works, scheduled maintenance works, tomorrow, Sunday, 30th June 2024, from 08 hours in the morning to 15 hours in the afternoon. What this means is that during this maintenance period, our power imports will be significantly constrained. And therefore, to ration the limited available power and for us to achieve network stability, we'll have to institute emergency power rationing. And this will result in longer than scheduled power outages that will affect our valued customers. The corporation will keep the nation up to date on the situation as it unfolds. In the meantime, we urge and encourage our customers to register for SMS notifications by dialing *3600#, choose option 99, then option 10, enter your prepaid meter or service number, and you will be able to receive our updates. Once again, we'd like to apologize to all our customers for the inconvenience that will cause, and we'll also thank you for your understanding and patience.
The Zambia Land Alliance has expressed deep concern over reports suggesting that a plan to grant VETZAM Diversified Corporation Limited a lease on 6 million hectares of land spanning Wapula, Northern and Muchinga provinces. Patrick Msole, the executive director of the alliance, says the allocation presents approximately 14% of Zambia's total land area, asserting that such a substantial portion should not be allocated to a single foreign investor. Mr. Msole says Zambia's national land policy dictates that foreign entities should be allocated smaller land sizes and shorter lease tenures, marking the proposed 99-year period unreasonable. On Friday, in a ministerial statement before Parliament, Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Mlenga dismissed claims that government has approved a $72 billion United States investment proposal by VETZAM Diversified Corporation Limited for rice production in Wapula, Northern and Muchinga provinces. The cabinet minister clarified that Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, lacks the legal authority to allocate any amount of land, including the purported 6 million hectares mentioned.
One, the amount of land which they are seeking to acquire is just too big. 6 million hectares of land is about 14% of total arable land in Zambia. And we cannot give that much land to one company. So the second reason is the lease tenure, the period. 99 years is just too long. The National Land Policy provides for two things as regards to foreign investments. It provides for reduced size of land to be given to foreign investors. Secondly, it provides for reduced lease tenure, which means that foreign investors should not be given 99 years. And the justification is that there is no investment that requires 99 years for it to mature. And so we are looking at reducing the period for foreign investment to somewhere probably.
Zanis reports that Smart Zambia says the newly launched access to internet connectivity for all public institutions and individuals within the Kazungula one-stop border post is aimed at enhancing and improving operations at the border post. Smart Zambia National Coordinator Pesi Chinyama says similar connectivity will be rolled out to all borders across the country. Chinyama was speaking when he checked on the operations of the connectivity service at Kazungula border post. He said Smart Zambia will provide expertise in ensuring that all public institutions operating in borders have one linkage in terms of information connectivity. More from Zanis in this report.
what we're going to implement here, which is access to connectivity for both government institutions and the citizens that are using this border. That connectivity must be replicated in the other borders so that we have a uniform kind of border management system across the country. This is in line with the presidential directives that we've been given to ensure that there is a level of digitization in the borders that will reduce the time that is spent managing the vehicles as they cross, and also the time that is spent having vehicles that should not be inland.
Here at Kazungula One-Stop Border Post, Smart Zambia is trying to interlink all the agencies. As you know, we're looking at a coordinated border management system. And for that system to be able to work, we're talking about all the agencies being able to speak as one. That can only happen if these are able to link with each other. And at that point, they'll be able to keep information in a buffer that when people are coming to the border, they'll be able to access that information as a single entity.
I'd like to confirm that we since launched the automated gate pass, which is working so well so far, but just needs to heighten on the change management activities. So such initiatives as the automated gate pass go a very long way to try and expedite processing efficiency and clearance, such that if they are pre-lodged on the customs portal, it becomes very easy. It means then our trucks, as they come into the control zone here at Kazungula One-Stop Border Post, don't spend a lot of time.
In a bid to empower communities and boost economic development, 50 groups in Kasama Central and Lukasha District have been awarded employment loans under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The loans aimed at supporting women-led initiatives are expected to create jobs and stimulate economic growth in the region. The disbursement of the funds marks a significant milestone in the government's efforts to promote gender equality and poverty reduction. More in this report from Zanis.
It's all smiles as the long wait is finally over for these people of Lukasha and Kasama Central constituencies in Kasama District. This is because these 50 groups have successfully been awarded empowerment loans under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation.
Previously, it was so difficult. In fact, CDF, we just heard that it was for bridges in the rural areas, what. But today, even us who are not able to access loans at CEC, we are able to access them through CDF.
Northern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Beauty Undi Piri, who officiated at the handover of the funds to beneficiaries, called for serious examination in the selection process.
Today, if we give you the interest that you are paying back with CDF, it's not the same as you are paying back with the bank. And these loans are meant to be paid to poor people who cannot manage to go to the bank and give collateral. And if you are giving to poor people, then we should select poor people. Let's not select Variaba Moleka Bopino Varia. We cannot be giving money where there's already money. We cannot continue empowering people who are already empowered. We leave people who are poor and we are empowering people who are already empowered. This should come to an end.
Kasama Mayor and Lukasha constituency member of parliament were also present at the event.
The 2024 Constituency Development Fund, CDF, loans have been a beacon of hope and progress.
This idea at Kasama District Council to learn that you have established a database to track these loans, to make sure that the monies that have been allocated to the beneficiaries are going to be properly utilized.
For Zanis in Kasama, I'm Taonga Nkoma.
And that particular story takes us to our first set of commercials. But do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Stay tuned.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. We as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Welcome back and thank you so much for still joining us. And now in international news. Iran is headed for a runoff election on Saturday, 29 June 2024. An election spokesperson announced that of the 24.5 million votes cast, no candidate secured more than 50%. Former nuclear negotiator Saeed Jalil got 9.4 million votes, while Heart surgeon Masoud Pishkian got 10.4 million. The two will face again on July 5th. More than 61 million Iranians over the age of 18 are eligible to vote. However, despite calls by the theocracy's supreme leader, most Iranians didn't vote. Now here is a roundup of international news.
Voters in Mauritania headed to the polls Saturday to elect their new leader. Some 1.9 million Mauritanians are eligible to cast a ballot. 7 candidates are vying for the top office, including incumbent President Mohamed Ould Ghazouani. He is a former army chief who came to power in 2019 following the first democratic transition in the country's history. Prominent opposition figures include the leader of the first opposition party in parliament, Hamadi Sidi Mokhtar Mohamed Abdi, and Biram Dah Abeid, an anti-discrimination activist. Results are expected in the coming days. If no candidate is able to secure at least 50% of the vote, there will be a second round on July 14th. Last year, the ruling El Insaf party scored a crushing victory in the legislative election. Youth unemployment, the terrorist threat in neighboring countries, which fuels displacement towards Mauritania, and the cost of living are some of the voters' concerns. 8 years after 11 million secret financial documents were leaked, more than 24 defendants were acquitted by a court in Panama Friday. Prosecutors had been seeking prison sentences for money laundering. The Panama Papers scandal exposed a network of tax havens involving people like Lionel Messi and Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, to name but a few.
According to Panamanian prosecutors, the Mossack Fonseca law firm and their associates created a web of offshore companies used to hide money linked to the illegal activities in the car wash corruption scandal of the Brazilian construction company Odebrecht. The scandal tarnished Panama's reputation, leading international financial institutions to demand more measures to allow scrutiny of the banking and financial systems.
The judge cited the lack of conclusive evidence on money laundering charges. Among those acquitted are the co-founders of the defunct firm Mossack Fonseca. Some of the shell corporations set up by the firm had been used for fraud, tax evasion, or avoiding international sanctions. Iran is headed for a runoff election. On Saturday, an election spokesman announced that of the 24.5 million votes cast, no candidate secured more than 50%. Former nuclear negotiator Said Jalil got 9.4 million votes, while heart surgeon Masoud Pezeshkian got 10.4 million. The two will face each other on July 5. More than 61 million Iranians over the age of 18 are eligible to vote. However, the overall turnout was 39.9% according to provisional results. Said Jalil is known for fighting in the 1980s Iran-Iraq war. He served as a deputy minister. Masoud Pezeshkian is a lawmaker who has the support of some pro-reformers. Iranians elected their last president in 2021. However, Ibrahim Raisi died in a helicopter crash on May 19th. There's only been one runoff presidential election in Iran's history, the one held in 2005.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Eritrean cyclist BINIAM GIRMAY is looking forward to a good result at the 2024 Tour de France. The tour kicks off on June 29th and ends on July 21st. For the very first time, the race starts in Italy. This year, the Intermarché 1T team will have two sprinters in their 8-man lineup. GIRMAY will be joined by Belgian Juben Thiessen. More in this report.
Eritrean cyclist BINIAM GIRMAY is looking forward to a good result at the 2024 Tour de France. For the very first time, the race starts in Italy. This year, the Intermarché 1T team will have two sprinters in their 8-man lineup.
I think this year is special because, like you said, we have two sprinters in one team, and that means, on the other hand, it's less pressure for me, also for Gerben, because we can share the sprint and we can also help each other in the sprint stage, especially for Gerben. If it's really flat, I can also support him as a last man, so that means it's a good opportunity for both of us. So especially for me, this is my second year, so I learned quite a lot from last year.
The 24-year-old attended a pre-tour media event for his team in Florence on Friday. The first African rider to win the World Tour Classic inspires fellow Eritreans.
It's pretty successful the last 3 years. Yeah, but still there is a lot of things to do for the local riders, because we still have a lot of difference between the pro rider and the local, but they are still young and they really need to improve a lot. So yeah, Tour de France is also a really big motivation for the local riders, because yeah, this is one of the most known race in Asmara. So I think our achievement it can help them a lot.
The Tour de France kicks off on June 29th and ends on July 21st. Because of the Olympics, Paris won't host the traditional tour finish.
We end the main news with that sports story, but before we go, we take a quick recap of stories that made headlines. Late former President CHILUBA'S son nabbed for burglary. ZESCO announces extended blackouts on June 30th due to maintenance on Zimbabwean interconnector. Civil servants and Allied Workers Union warn civil servants against partisan politics. And in international news, Iran to hold runoff election as no candidate secures 50% of votes. In sports, ERITREAN BINIAM GIRMAY looking forward to a good result at 2024 Tour de France. Now, before we go, we look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 4, and it reads, "For everyone born of God overcomes the world. This is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith." Thank you so much for having joined us on the main news desk. I have been Joe Tapelo Smarter. Good evening and God bless.